Well, the Gangster Chronicles.
Mm-hmm.
When I first heard about the Gangster Chronicles, it was you, Reggie, and
Alex Alonso.
Alex Alonso, right. But now, the current lineup of the Gangster Chronicles is Norm Steele, MC8, and I guess Soren Baker.
Oh, I didn't even know Soren was in it.
Well, he's in the last 2 episodes. It seems like he's part of the show.
Oh, I didn't know. What more power to him?
I know Soren. I guess seeing a middle-class white kid being part of the lineup of Gangster Chronicles is somewhat amusing. You know what I'm saying? Like I wouldn't put myself in the Gangster Chronicles. I've been a guest on the show,
right,
but I wouldn't be part of the actual permanent cast.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This is not a shot at Soren. I just find it a little bit amusing because obviously he's not a gangster.
Right.
You know what I mean? So what exactly happened from, you're not part of it, Reggie's not part of it. Was Norm part of it from the very beginning?
Well, he the one that contacted Reggie and Reggie contacted me. Greed. Norm wanted, instead of splitting that check half and half, because me and him signed a contract 50-50 and on Gangster Chronicles only. But the backdoor shit that he was doing, I had no clue of. I had no clue, no business. I wasn't business-minded on none of that shit. And I didn't pay attention to nothing. As long as they took care of shit, I was cool. So Norm got to a point where, okay, splitting this money, it ain't making him look good, I guess. So he come and say, well, this goddamn allegations, this rat shit, man, is fucking with our business.
Oh, allegations against you?
Yeah. What the fuck you mean? What are you talking about? So me, I didn't give a fuck what he was talking about. So me and him just gradually stopped talking. And when it was time after the last season, let me get my money. And I asked him, when we gonna start the next season? Oh, we gonna woo-woo. Me and him haven't had a word since February of last year. Ain't said one word. Yeah.
Okay, because MC8 was on the show when you were on the show.
Yeah.
There was the overlap.
Yeah.
And I think MC8's a good addition to that show.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, absolutely. OG, and this rap shit, as well as, history background. I like MC8. Norm Steele got on the mic at one point.
Yeah.
And stayed there.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, Soren Baker seems to be the third person. And you said that you're not making any money off this.
No.
Okay. It's a little weird considering that, for example, I took a certain level of pride as to, something, I was the first person to put Mob James on this YouTube platform,
right,
and it took off to the point that it actually triggered him starting his own podcast, right, and so forth. I've never asked for anything, by the way, when it comes to
you're right.
Not one penny. In fact, I even came on the show when you guys asked
that was
to support.
Big to me too. Yeah.
So I'm just letting everyone know what my point of view is.
Right.
To me, it's a little weird that the person that I helped start in this podcast game, who was part of this successful podcast, is no longer part of this successful podcast anymore.
Right. Well, just like you were saying, our game, his growth. I could have went to the streets with the shit. I could have did a lot of things. But what do they get me? I'm not going to get no money. I'm in jail. I lose my grandson, everything. So I chose to walk away and let people see. I didn't give a fuck about that. Gangster Chronicles didn't change me. So if I ever see a Norm Steele, then we might have a problem. We might have a problem. It depends on how I feel. But other than that, I'm not going to let that situation interfere with where I'm at, what I'm doing. I'm still hanging in there. It's, I'm not tripping off Norm. I don't give a fuck. Y'all, if y'all make it, y'all make it. But Gangster Chronicles didn't define me as who I am. It helped me, but like I said, in keeping 100, Vlad helped me understand who Mob James was, and was the first person to allow me to vent. You know what I'm saying? Not Gangster Chronicles.
Yeah.
So, but Gangster Chronicles it helped me grow also. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it was your project. Like, I was happy for you. I'm like, okay, cool.
Right.
Like, I'm still fucking with James, and he's still welcome on my platform.
Right.
But this is his own shit, his own money, doing his own thing.
Right.
And then, Charlemagne picked y'all up for the Black Effect. And, I'm sure there's some...
That bullshit. And I don't want to speak bad on that brother, but he know I got a 50-50 with Norm. You know what I'm saying? So I'm doing the lawyer shit, trying to see what's happening, where I'm at. I hear the show ain't doing what it used to and how it was, but I don't give a fuck about none of that. Let's get a lawyer, do this shit legit, and then now people can see me in a different light for sure. Because I know where he recording at. I can go there. But if something happened to him, where they going? Straight to me.
Yeah.
So it's been damn near a year, and I ain't called his phone. I ain't said shit to him. The scary motherfucker won't even call and say, man, check this out. This is whoop, whoop, whoop. So it's like, fuck Gangster Chronicles, fuck Norm, and it is what it is.
Well, I hope at one point it does, get worked out, because I don't think that the show has the same magic as when you were on. And I'll just be honest, because I listened to a lot of those episodes,
Well, he's a guy that like we were saying earlier, he want all the credit, and he felt, okay, once we got this going, now he think he can just go on and roll with it from this point. And then now he can dish and do the money how he choose to.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem like it's that much money. Like,
it's not.
Like I'm looking at the YouTube views going like, okay, the YouTube is essentially zero.
Right.
I'm looking at I don't know what the deal is on the podcast side, but on the YouTube side, it's not even hitting like 1,000 views sometimes.
Right.
So that's essentially zero.
Right.
So if there's money on the podcast side, I don't know, but a lot of times people don't want to admit that things worked because of the combination and the partnership of certain people.
Right.
Like, Dame Dash could talk all the shit he wants these days and say that he originated this and he was the main force behind that or whatever else. But you look at where he is right now, where Jay-Z is right now, you could see where the real talent was in that group.
Right, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, and Dame is taking his shots at me. I don't care, but we all looked up to Dame at one point, seeing the whole Rockefeller, how big it got. But when you look, Dame hasn't dropped anything significant in the last 15 years, essentially. Right. Whereas Jay, boom, Rock Nation,
yeah,
goddamn, huge liquor deals, huge artists, like Beyonce's massive concerts, like that. This is all that Jay has his hands on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm sure in retrospect, Dame would like to have been part of all that.
Right.
So the fact that Mob James is not in the Gangster Chronicles, the Gangster Chronicles isn't doing all that well, should make people think that maybe y'all need to put Mob James back in the Gangster Chronicles.
No, Mob James will never go back there.
So that's it. It's over.
No, I wouldn't. I couldn't deal with Norm. This is a dude I was calling my brother. This is a dude that I was giving him credit for helping me and when I was in a situation. You know what I'm saying? This is a guy I sat back and talked to on the phone. I had his back. If somebody touched you in front of me, Norman, this is what it is. And then the backstab shit, okay, man, I ain't got time for this type of shit. And then he didn't want me to know that he done sold so many goddamn whatchamacallits of this company, shares of this company. He probably only owned 5% of the shit. He got like 5 or 6 motherfuckers he done sold 30%, 25%, 15%. He probably don't even own shit of it. So
this is why I don't do partnerships. I don't do shares. I don't do investments. Vlad TV is owned by Vlad, and it's
Right.
nice and clean.
right,
You come in, you get your check. You're not expecting anything on the back end because you're
Right.
getting paid up front. And it makes it clean.
right.
It makes it easy.
And that's what I never got into that part of the business
Mm-hmm.
where I was concerned about certain shit. So BJ was telling me, man, this dude is this dude is that. That dude can't this and that with you. And I was like, okay, I got you. Let me see what's happening with Norm. And I should have listened to him, but I didn't. And we are where we are. So
I think, looking at it from the outside looking in, if it was me, let's just say that I had this idea to start the Gangster Chronicles, what I would say is, listen, I'm going to own it. And every time you do a show, you're going to get a nice check. And as the checks start improving, I'll slowly start, improving you more. But I'm going to maintain the ownership so nobody has a weird kind of, feeling that they're not getting what they should be getting or whatever else. At any point, anyone wants to leave, they can leave. But I'm gonna overlook it, and I'm gonna make sure everyone gets paid fairly.
right. If we had that understanding, I'd have been cool with it. I'd just
I
walk
think
away.
the problem is sometimes when someone doesn't have a lot of money, things are just starting up. You start doing these partnerships, this happened with this other podcast, I Am Athlete.
Mm-hmm.
Like the dude that started it and financed it. There was two other dudes that were sort of going along with it, and then when it started to blow up, they wanted a percentage. He didn't want to give a percentage, so they all left. So now he got to.
That's where he at.
You see what I'm saying?
That's what happened.
And
with
that's
him.
because he probably wasn't paying everyone back then.
Right.
So people were thinking, hey, I'm doing all this work for free. Now that things are going well, I want my percentage. And it's like, well, we never had that conversation. And now, it's not going to be what it was.
Right.
This is why I've always just paid everybody. And this is why my relationships with people have always been so solid. Me and Boosie, we've been rocking for 20 years.
Right.
Boosie knows he fucks with me.
That dude is hilarious, man.
Yeah. He knows it's clean.
Right.
He knows he walks away with what I promised him.
Right.
And whatever happens to me is up to me.
Right.
If I win, if I lose, I'm not going to go back to him and say, hey, man, listen, that last interview didn't do well. Can you give me back half the money? No.
Right.
I'll never say that.
Right.
I take my L's and my wins, and this is, unfortunately, not everyone has a lot of business experience and understands this.
Vlad, I did the same thing with that brother. That man asked me, could he borrow $3,000? Here.
Who's this?
Norm.
Okay.
Doing shit. I mean, I was under the impression we was good. And then when that last payment came, me and that brother ain't spoke a word. He won't call. He won't say shit to me. And I think that's pussy shit. But other than that, the only thing I can do at this point is get in trouble.
Yeah.
So I'm like, fuck it. It ain't worth it.